Well, hello and welcome to my shop, and thank you for spending some of your time with me. Here it's July 1st. Here in Canada, that's a big holiday day called Canada Day. So happy Canada Day if you're Canadian, and happy Canada Day if you're not Canadian. It doesn't really matter. So where am I at with this radio? Appears to have low output. Seems to work pretty good on the broadcast band with a strong signal on the antenna. Seems to be quite weak, but working on shortwave. I was able to pick up one station, a very, very strong station, but I had to have the volume turned up full to hear it. So something is not quite right in the radio. So today, I think what I'm going to want to do is verify or correct the alignment in the radio. And that's a 2 or 3 stage process. And the first stage is to verify the alignment of the IF transformers. They're inside these 2 cans here. These particular transformers are tuned with capacitors here on the top. You can see the screws down inside the holes there. That means I don't have to get underneath the chassis to do this, which is convenient. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject a known signal of the correct frequency, which is, for this radio, I think it's 470 kilohertz. Yes, 470 kilohertz. And observe the output coming from the radio, and then adjust these to maximize the output. And we'll see. Could this be the cause of why it's weak? Yeah, it seems a little weaker on shortwave than on broadcast. These things, if they're not correct, are going to affect both broadcast band and shortwave pretty much the same amount. So that kind of counters the argument that there's a problem here. But the only way to know is to go through the testing process and see what we've got. Okay, I'm going to get everything set up for doing that. Okay, let's have a go here. Now it's going to be a little hard for you to read the frequency, but actually once I get it set it'll be fixed at 470. Right now my frequency counter is going a little nuts, as it often does. Let's start up the radio here. Okay, just the dim bulbs going. Just see the glow disappearing. Hey, what's that? What's that doing there? Yeah. My background is Finnish and Swedish. Okay, but just so you're not confused, I was born here in Canada. My mother was born in Canada here. My father came to Canada when he was 6 years old from the Swedish part of Finland. That would be the way to look at it. Okay, now, what do we got happening here? So we have no antenna. What band are we on? We're on the shortwave band. Let's just go down to the broadcast band for a moment. Wow, did you see that thing jump up and down there? Whew. I have to look more closely. Look at that. Look a little more closely at that situation. I'll put the volume, and I'll be the antenna. Okay, the clicking is a typical interference noise I hear in my house here regularly. It's a strange one, comes and goes. Its pace goes up and down. I have no idea where it's coming from, but it's a regular visitor. Okay, that's fine. So we turn the volume down. Now the first thing I'm doing is just listening with my ear here. So the signal generator is somewhere around 470, not necessarily there. And when I connect it to this capacitor you see sitting there, in fact I'm connecting it to the grid cap here. Nothing comes out, but that could be because I'm not at 470. So I'm going to tune this around, see if it starts coming through. Nothing at all. That's a little surprising. So we've got a reasonably strong signal coming through here. Maybe I haven't got this correct at all. Can't be sure until this settles down. It'll just be a minute or two. Trying to, oh, I think we're getting somewhere. Ooh. Okay, so it's reacting at 600. I'm going to boost up the signal here. That tone is coming from the signal generator. Just kind of popped in there. It could be the volume control here. Now that could be because maybe this radio is tuned to 600. So it's tuned on here to about almost 700. Why are we hearing 600? Let's tune the radio and see if it comes and goes. So now it's getting close to 600, and now we're hearing it coming through the radio more normally. Why can we hear a 600 tone? It has nothing to do with the tuning. This is really pretty rugged still. I thought I got this loosened up. Maybe I didn't. Huge play in it there. I'll have to look into that down the road. Okay. Well, my counter has stopped. Just realized I can read the frequency. So let's put it down to 470 again. Get there for sure and see what happens. It's all over the place. Okay, it's interesting. Let's put her up on 470. Now 470, my counter is slightly off, so I put it just below 470. It should be bang on. Now just using ears, no instrumentation, just listening. I'm going to adjust these. See if there's something there. We need to hear this. We need to hear it. So I'm going to tune it down a little bit. Hear it? Now, will it get louder or not? Well, it certainly got louder. Now, I'm not doing this at 470, I'm just shy of 470. This capacitor and this capacitor appear to be open to their maximum. Not a particularly good sign. We certainly got a boost there, there's no doubt about that. Let's home in on 470 now. Oop, where are you going there? What happened to you there? I'm not the only one who needs to drink coffee in the morning, clearly. You do too. Okay, 470. We can't even hear it. Just to where we can hear it. Okay, so we can pick that up. Wow. Eventually I will do this with an instrument. Okay, this one seems to want to be just loosened right off. Maybe there's more than one peak. I don't think so. No. So what the coil's asking for is less and less trimmer capacitor. Why would that be? Too much capacitance somewhere else? And you can't trim it sufficiently? Oh, lots more coming. Same thing here. Both. Either I'm going to guess it's either the primary or the secondary on both of these that is behaving this way. Okay, let's go right to 470. Seems surprisingly sharp also. That will go through again. What's the rumble? Let me tune the radio a bit. Oh my gosh. That was unexpected. That was unexpected. Say it again. Twice is enough. What happened there just now? So you wouldn't expect the tuning to affect what I'm doing here, except the radio is completely connected. You know, this wire is normally carrying the antenna signal up to the first tube. So it could be by connecting this, I've just disturbed the radio so much, it's become so unhappy, it's now misbehaving. And I should not continue until I've sorted that out. What we're going to try to do is inject the signal generator signal. Turn this down because I think it get pretty loud. No. Try to inject it into that tube. Rude way here. Okay, going down, lift this off. Maybe I can leave that right off. Let's try that. Put this around here. Not sure what's going to happen. Okay, turn it up. Nothing. Try turning this guy. What happened just now? How come I got louder? I'm not touching anything. Can't coordinate the funny little sounds that are coming out with my actions. Something funny is going on. Well, we're not getting anything out of it. Let me put this right up. That's a strong signal in this coil now. This is kind of a clumsy way to inject the signal. Just nothing. Oh, this didn't work. Okay, let's do this. We'll put this cap back on. It's not working at all. Okay, we'll try another thing. I'm going to take this off. And I think I mentioned before, most vacuum tubes in a radio like this, these are grid connections, and you can do what I'm doing. You can handle them. Now, I'm not grounded, of course. I'm standing Got my rubber-soled shoes on. But occasionally, these tubes will have a cap, which is actually a plate cap, and you would not want to do this. That's for sure. Okay, well, the signal's going through this tube, going through this transformer, into that tube, through this transformer, into that tube, out of that tube, and on its way, I believe. So I could have that totally backwards, but I don't think so. So this would be the first IF, the IF amplifier, and then followed by the second IF, and then this would be a, ooh, get a signal there, you're doing good. So I'm going to try to inject the signal generator signal into this tube. We'll do it in a more direct way. Plus I'm going to interrupt the antenna signal. So the radio is no longer sensitive to incoming signals. They're very insensitive. Okay, this might make a little noise. Not much. It's going to stay there, I don't think so. Okay, and we have a moderate signal here. That's ground. That's not very good. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so all we're doing now is energizing this one coil. And we're doing it in a way that should not disturb the operation of this coil at all. Transformer. Okay, we'll put the signal in. Hello, hello. There's just nobody getting through there. Now this should be enough signal for sure. Oh, let's up the volume. What is going on here? Well, we'll just go higher yet. Check the calibration here. It was way off, but it was way extra strong. So, what do we get? I hear a thing. That's a bit of a showstopper right there. Why would I not hear a thing? What am I doing wrong here? I gotta hear something. Yeah. 470. I'm a little stumped. How can that not be coming through? This is so far out of tune. I can't believe it. I've swung the signal generator up and down quite a distance. Okay, with a big whopping signal. Right around 470. Volume's turned up. Oh, I hear it. With the volume right up all the way. Okay, that's what we want. See if we can get it louder. I would say way out of tune. We just lost it there. Let's do the other one here. Yeah, way out of tune. There's a very clear peak. And I'm just using my ears. Oh! What happened there? Where'd you go? We were really cooking with gas there for a minute, and then away she went. Let's hit it with more power. I'm not sure what happened there. Same peak. It was this guy it was turning. Phew. Okay, this guy's tuned up now. Now we'll move the signal back to here and check this transformer. That's the theory. Come on off of there. You need a good cap. It's very hard to clip onto something like that. I don't want to put the antenna back on just yet. Have I got something that can be used? I think that will work. Bit of an antenna. A little loose, but I think it's okay. Okay, signal down. It's insulated. Volume up, volume. I left the volume up full for that and nothing much happened. Okay, up. Don't hear a thing. Okay, we'll just take a guess. This is just a 65 miles out because I did turn this on a mile. And this guy. I'm not hearing a thing. Why am I not hearing a thing? Is something wrong with what I'm doing here? What happened? We're happily working along here. Volume's full. Something just happened. Maybe this volume control is doing that. Yeah, I think that's what it would be. So volume controls out of control. Yeah. Okay, so we can clean that in a moment. have seen a radio that was completely dead because of the volume control being dirty. There was no scratching, no nothing at all. The last thing you'd think it was the volume control. That's how bad they can get. How come this occasionally gets really good? When you're doing an alignment, any of this little wonkiness, it should cause you to hesitate. Of course, we're still really hunting for problems in this radio. Can't imagine how tuning this would be effective, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a little stuck for things to do. How could this be effective? I'm sending the signal in past this transformer. You know, funnier things have happened. Oh, that's a coffee break warner. Yeah, I'm going to stop for a moment here. Let my head drain out. Okay, a couple of sips of cold coffee. What what's happening there? Why didn't that work before? Okay, so I'm going to put this back on. Maybe this cord is no good. No, that's not the case. Well, it's amazing what coffee can do, isn't it? Just amazing. Okay, we're going to turn down the volume here. Okay, back up. Where'd the lovely sound go? I have to deal with the volume control next. What is happening here? I had to go drink more coffee. I went away, came back, it's working. Then I did stuff and now it's not working. I don't get it. Oh! Yeah, I gotta go after the volume control. Okay, let's deal with that. We gotta deal with that. We're being forced into it here. Forced into it. Let's go this way. Okay, the volume control is on the end of the shaft here. Long shaft. And its leads are upwards. That's good because I'm going to spray stuff down into it. We're going to start with this rather expensive stuff here. Not as clear an opening here as I would hope. Hey, you know what? I should be doing this with the radio switched on. Believe it or not. Okay, switch it back on. Not sure what we're going to hear. Let me put this grid cap back on. Very low voltage here. Let's give it the full works. Come on, radio, make some sound for me. Okay. Get some sound coming through here. Kind of a crazy sound, but that's okay. have quite the characteristics you would expect. I don't know. It's a certain there's a certain explosion that occurs at the tip here. And if you get that explosion close enough to an opening, then pressurized gas and fluid will get in and then explode inside. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, but you really got to get it up against the hole. I don't see any hole. So there's rivets here that look open. Maybe that's a hole in, but I don't think so. There's something right here. Let's take a closer look at the something right here. Radio's on now, don't forget that. Yeah, right up the side there's a big hole. We're going to spray in there. Usually there's a gap around where these terminals are. Oh, is that a great big gap there? Where's the flashlight? Looks like there's quite a gap back up in there too. So we have two places to try. We're going to try at the top one first. Into here. Right in here. I didn't do anything. wait a minute, I didn't actually spray anything in there. It got louder. Yeah, definitely. I still haven't sprayed it. Exactly is spraying out of this. Hard to see it. Doesn't seem to have really done anything. Another angle down this way. Oh, I'm just touching this. That's not a cold solder joint. Do anything. How about in here? Go this hole. Doesn't seem to be doing the trick at all. A little better now. Okay, now I'm going to do something which would upset some of you, maybe you. I'm going to hit it with that stuff. No, Jim, don't do it. Okay. Watch out, I get the can to go right into the radio, and next thing you know, I'll be part of the radio here. One last spray. slider would be here, right around about here now. I'd be spraying it right on the slider maybe. Cool. Seems to be having no effect. And there's always a chance in here is actually worn out, and no amount of cleaning is going to fix that. And it might even make it worse. It can make it worse. Because when you spray that kind of stuff in there, it loosens up all the oil and grease, and in some cases it kind of dry it out a little bit. Not the WD-40, but the first spray. And then it instead of gliding nicely, it starts to kind of, you know, grind in there, and it'll grind off whatever's left of whatever's in there, and just make the situation worse. Okay, so maybe I've misdiagnosed it. Let me get my magic stick here. Yeah, that doesn't seem to make sense. A cold solder joint here. Very, very tricky to determine who the troublemaker is in a situation like this. Not that. Not that. I think I got a cold solder joint here. What about this one back here? So I moved it far enough to actually bend things a little bit, and now the problem appears to be gone. Ooh, what are you doing? How can the problem just go away that easy? This stick is one of the most valuable tools I have in my shop. I have found more things wrong with a stick than I think any other single piece of equipment. Well, it seems pretty stable now. So I probably may have had a cold solder joint, and they just bent it enough to kind of establish a better connection in it. This bit of solder here is not shiny, but I think it's old. This is all new. The problem appears to be, what? And plus, when you're flexing something here, you can easily be causing a flexation quite a distance away. An extremely sensitive problem can be activated, and you think it's over here when it's way over here somewhere. Or I think that anyway. No, doesn't seem to be anything out of the norm anywhere else. In fact, it's all gone away. Is that because I had the volume control in a sensitive spot? That seems pretty good. Still scratchy here. Ooh, now hear that hum? Let me come forward. Not a good thing. So when you hear a hum like that, that usually means a open grid circuit to a tube, in this case to the audio tube. could be because the volume control itself is completely open. Let me just check that. So I'm injecting what should be a loud signal. Oh, still hear it. So it's not completely open. Could be the resistance has gone way high because the slider's not making good contact. So there's a huge resistance. And that would turn the wire that leaves the center pole here, turn it into a bit of an antenna hooked up to, usually it's going straight to the grid, or almost straight to a grid of a tube. This volume control is located it's located near this tube. This is the tube that converts the signal. I shouldn't say convert, but through the use of that tube and the diode in it, you can end up recovering the audio. You recover the audio, you stick it through this volume control right away. Normally. I have to look at the schematic, but I can't imagine this is going to be much different. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think there's something going on here. I think I need to resolder these before I spend all day poking at them. And why not just resolder them? Today is not quite so smoky, but still smoke around here, and but it's a cloudy day. It's going to be cloudy all day. Last night here we got a warning. It's an automatic warning on our phones from the Canadian Weather Service saying tornado watch. Well, I don't think I've ever been under a tornado watch before. And about 20 minutes later we got a tornado warning, which means the government is convinced a tornado is coming into our area. But I don't think there were any tornadoes anywhere, and there wasn't even a thunderstorm near us. Well, 15 miles away there was a thunderstorm. So a little scary there. I got all ready for a tornado to come through here. They can come through here. There's a history of occasional tornadoes, including one bad one that hit the city of Barrie quite a while ago now, 25 years ago or longer, and destroyed a subdivision just like you'd see in the United States, flattening the houses and everything. So it is possible. There's also a video on YouTube of a tornado passing by the Canadian Tire store, behind the Canadian Tire store here in Orillia a few years ago. Small tornado, not one that would be a big concern, I don't think. I guess all tornadoes are a bit of a concern, but okay, so we're going to do the suspicious connection only first. Hard to believe this is a bad soldering job here. Hard to believe it. Okay, just one. Just one. Apparently, the most dangerous country to be in for tornadoes is a small country in Europe, and I'm going to say the Netherlands, but I'm not sure that's correct. But it has to do with the population density. So even though tornadoes are much more infrequent than they are certainly in the United States, the chance of you being in that country and getting hit by a tornado is actually higher because the country is small. So if a tornado comes through the country and you're in it, you're likely to get hit by it. Not likely, but the likelihood is higher. Of course, the United States is a huge country, and people in California aren't going to be affected by tornadoes going up the middle of it. So a large population, turns out the per capita chance of being hit is lower in the United States. And I didn't even know tornadoes happened anywhere else in the world, including Canada. When I was a kid, I didn't even know there were tornadoes in Canada. This is on now, isn't it? Okay, what do we get out of this now? Okay, there's still that scratchy spot. It seems better, doesn't it? Nothing going on here at all anymore. Not exactly sure whether it was the solder or... Okay, I think we got a stable radio again. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to shut the power off. When I do that... Okay, power back on. Where were we now? We were trying to inject the signal into this tube. So when I remove this, I remove the bias, if there is any, sitting there. Would that be part of a problem? There, let's get that. Put this here. Signal level's fairly high. My counter's gone wild again. Hello? How about we turn the volume up? Okay. Okay. I think the AVC is really kicking in there. Maybe not. It's full volume. I hear it. Come on, be stable. I do have this tube still in a tube extender. That brown thing down there. Oops. But I don't think that would make any difference at all. Okay, so we got a signal coming through. And we think this is tuned up properly. And I want to try to tune this one. Here we go. All the way back to here again. Think that made a difference? What do you think? Okay. For doing this by ear, you know, you're not going to get it perfect, but you can also tell when you're doing this, as you're moving the different ones, the things that they line up perfectly like this. There's 4 things I'm adjusting. Then you get the sharpest bandwidth, but if I got a couple of them kind of not quite on, you get a wider and wider bandwidth. You hear more and more trouble. And that would be something to fool with at the very, very end, listening to some radio program playing, if you care to do it at all. Well, I think that's probably pretty good. Now, unfortunately, I've gone all over the place with this. So, did I just go all over the place and then return it right to where it was at the start? There's a good chance of that. But we will find out by playing the radio. The radio performs a lot better now. In terms of volume, okay, we're going to put on the outdoor antenna, which is not maybe the best, but let's do that for a start. And we're going to put this on full volume, full voltage, which I did not have it on before. A lot more volume now, I think. Well, we'll go see, is there any chance of tuning in something here on this wire antenna? Not the best. Not the best chance. Let's see what we can get. So we're tuned. So 590 is right in here. Right there. Anybody coming home? Okay, we're not getting anything. So we will keep put the ground on. Put the ground on. A couple ways to hook this up here. This is real grounding. Okay, I'm going to connect the loop antenna. Just sitting right here. And this one we had good luck with last time. Probably will again. Put this on what I believe are the loop antenna connections. I still have to study the antenna situation a little better. Whoops, came off. Stay on there. What happened? Once again, just suddenly come to life. Oh, I know what happened. The antenna leads clicked off. You might think it should get quieter. No. Stay on there now, guys. They're just barely on. Barely on there. Stay on. You know what else is wrong? The antenna's aimed wrong, probably tuned wrong. It's always a sad day when you think you fixed the radio and it seems to work worse than it did. It's a weird spot for that. So if what's happened here, if the IF was for some reason tuned way off from 470, and that'll cause stations to be received in the incorrect locations on the dial. And you could get the radio working fairly good with the dial totally inaccurate. Maybe that's how it was before. Because the way I remember it, I was aiming for 590. I ended up with 680 being tuned in. So what that indicates is somebody did this tuning by ear with a radio station without using equipment of any sort. That's what that would indicate. That will also mean if you did that, if you have these off, then the rest of the alignment will be off in a compensatory way for what's gone wrong here. And so when you correct this, get this working right, then the rest of the radio will go down because it was, tuned up in the wrong spot. Now it's in the right spot, but it's not tuned up. That could be the case. But if I continue with the tuning, which I have to read up on before I attempt that, we would get this thing going a lot better. Okay, let me just tune the antenna here.
It will also drive up the price of gas and diesel over time. City users Presidential reporter.
Now, where are we on the volume? So that's nothing. That's a lot better. That's definitely a lot better. But the problem now is this is 530. This can't be 530 we're listening to. What is it? Parliamentary Budget Office, Canadian signal. Not that. Did I say this was the antenna last time? That's not the antenna. So what was I thinking? This is an FM antenna, shortwave antenna. Oh, I think it was maybe shortwave. But obviously, this radio on broadcast has a rod antenna or loop antenna in it. Okay, so it's not that. Is it 680? Yes, it's 680. So now we're getting 680, way off. So what that suggests is the local oscillator is way off, which is another element of the tuning up of a radio like this. Which I'm not going to do. I think let's go and see what happened on shortwave. Now, shortwave, we'll go right up to the same place we were yesterday, which is 9. Oh, very hard to turn. 930 in this area. Right, and now we need to put on that outdoor antenna. Although, you know, probably 3 feet of wire is just as good. 3 feet of wire right here in the shop than this thing. Okay, there's on. And we get, I'm guessing there's a signal there. It's really sharp tuning. Okay, double checking the volume again. So you gotta have this up quite high to hear it. Okay.
Set aside the 7th-day Sabbath to worship after it.
Very good. I think that's very good. I think I did improve it. I think the IF was off. I think it's on now. I think the rest of the alignment in the radio is off, probably for the reasons I explained. And that tomorrow I will approach the rest of the alignment for this radio. I'll read up on it. In the meantime, I have to read not an awful lot. I'll read this, make sure I understand what they're saying there. Then we'll perform that alignment. At the end of that, we can judge the performance of the radio. My guess is it's going to be okay at that point. And I'm done. That's my guess. So we'll see. Thanks a lot for watching today, and see you tomorrow.